Good morning. My name is Murray, and I am a racist. I grew up in white South Africa, and so everything in my childhood tried to convince me that I was superior because of the color of my skin. I wish it wasn't that way, but that's true. I have to own the fact that my entire society, my school, my teachers, the media, the news, everything told me I was special because I was white. And so I got to go to an all-white primary school. I got to enjoy all-white beaches. I got to go to all-white shopping centers and cinemas. In fact, the only time I ever encountered a non-white person in my country was if they were working or begging. At school, we were warned of the dangers that threatened our white nation, the terrorists that were going to get us. We had grenade drills in primary school. We had posters on the walls showing us how to avoid things like limpet mines and AK-47s. All the time, we were warned again and again of die swart gevaar, literally translated as the black danger. I normally use this period in my life to talk about something called enculturation, an anthropologist's term to describe how our culture is passed from one generation to the next. And it's true that I would be the racist white South African stereotypical in films if it wasn't for my parents, who insisted on showing me as a child that there could be a different way. It wasn't anything to do with what I looked like. We were all the same underneath. And so I avoided the stereotype. But some of that always remains. This is the phrase that I heard again and again as a child and is tattooed across my brain. We are all the same underneath. It doesn't matter what you look like, Murray. We are all the same underneath. So indulge me as I draw some comparisons between the world in which I grew up and the world in which I now work, the church. Churches, on the whole, are not fond of different ideas. We like things to be the same, together. We don't really think that there should be too much difference. In fact, we're quite monochrome, quite singular, homogeneous in terms of the ideas. This would be bad enough if it was just about race or creed or music, but it is about ideas. New ideas are generally not welcome. Think of a stereotypical church service. There is somebody up front who will share the right way to think about God, life, and we're all encouraged to then follow on with that right way. Where is the opportunity to disagree? Where in that setup is my voice? Where can I say what I think about God or life? Where can I share things? Now, as you can tell, I'm likely to find an opportunity to say what I think, often with great big red letters. But what about my kids? Where is their opportunity? Where does my daughter have the chance to say, I think I see God very differently to that? Whenever we have a homogeneous, monochrome community, anything that comes into that community that is different is immediately at threat of some kind of prejudice. That's the way we work. It goes back to our primitive brains as we huddled around the firelight, scared of the things in the darkness beyond. We try and maintain that circle of light, keeping everything that threatens us beyond in the dark. And if that difference, that thing coming from the dark is a child, or worse yet, a teenager, then we close ranks. We huddle in closer to the light, and we try and keep that difference at bay. Perhaps we are not prepared to expect anything from them. Perhaps we're not willing to accept that children and young people might offer us something new, something better. Because they are different, they are in the dark, they must be heretical or wrong. They might be yellow eyes staring at us from the edge of the dark, threatening to come in and eat us. And so our monochrome, homogeneous, single idea way of living continues and is reinforced because we aren't willing to accept that there might be something more from our younger generations. The way that we limit their ability to join in, the way that we don't expect anything of them, must surely be a great big billboard shouting at them, we are prejudiced. If only we would see the same thing, we might notice it too. Maybe we should all stand and say, "Hi, my name is Murray, the church community, and I am ageist." Prejudice is defined as a preconceived opinion, not based on evidence or experience. And yet, I come across Sunday school leaders and youth group leaders who again and again will say the reason that they do what they do is because of how much they learn from the children and young people that they serve, how much they are inspired by them, how much they encounter God through them. And yet, we leave them out. We have a segregated system that ignores what they offer us. The melting pot that is the new South Africa, the rainbow nation, is a challenging place to be. I worked initially in Cape Town in a Methodist church and found myself on a committee trying to organize youth events across all the cultures of the city. Nowadays, I struggle to get two Kentish villagers to talk to one another. Try doing that across 3 racial groups, 3 genres of music, 3 languages. How do you choose between English, Afrikaans, and Xhosa? Through that period, there was a phrase that really stuck with me. It comes from a minister who is now the minister of the Central Methodist Mission in Cape Town, who said, "My greatest gift to you is my difference from you." That phrase shows the potential and the opportunity within a diverse group. If only we could use that phrase in our modern communities to see the positive benefit of difference. So what do? Do we start a protest? Do we boycott something or someone in the same way that the South African apartheid system was boycotted? I think we need to start choosing to tell different stories. We need to choose to be careful about the language we use so that we are not limiting the firelight to just those who are like us. If we start using language differently, saying things like with children and young people, not to them or for them, then we widen that circle of light. And we might just discover the opportunity that a colorful world gives us, the joy that different colors might bring, if only we could include the voices of our children and young people as we discover what it means to be the rainbow people that we are made to be. Thank you.